What's up, for Dub Nation? Rich with Let's Go Warriors back again. This time we're going to look at some fact or fiction on each one of these trade scenarios that have gone on in the past or have been rumored, or Warriors fans, especially on social media, have wanted the Warriors to do. And we're supposed to have Dean Chambers in the house. I don't know where he is, though. But yeah, we can look at each one of these. Going to kind of spoil it for you in that each one of these scenarios, it's really tough for the Warriors to do anything about. Mainly because we have like 85% of our salaries going towards old or injured or both type of players. So in the back screen right now, I've got our Discord server. I took some notes on the latest Yossi and Sam live stream that just happened a couple hours ago, but really we kind of wanted to talk about our cap sheet right here. In fact, let me line this up a little bit better. Resize, fit data. There we go. Rotation. Let's do this. Without Jimmy or Moses. Resize that one more time. Just to get it a little bit better looking. And here, let's resize this. Can you see some of that? Okay, maybe a little bit. Here we go. It's a little bit better. Yeah, so we've got 186 million in old or untradeable people, including Steph, Jimmy. Draymond's just old, and it's hard to, I mean, really this should be kind of like untradeable in terms of like what a lot of people don't understand is that the Warriors are a collaboration between Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy, and Steve Kerr, although I'm sure Steve doesn't really care to be part of the GM type of stuff because he's been a GM before, and he's just, that's not something he is very interested in doing. All right. Dean Chambers is in the house. Let's bring him on. Hey, Dean.
What's up, Rich?
All right. Good to have you.
Yeah, good to be here.
Ah,
Camera's acting up a little bit, so I think that's why the background isn't working. But hopefully, yeah, that'll be okay. Yeah, I know my
summer facial hair, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, I lost you on the camera. Lost him completely. Oh well. Let's get back to this until he comes back. All right, so Denzel wants to look at Trey Murphy. Yeah. Well, again, I mean, we both know you've asked this before, and I've answered it many times. But first thing you do, I'll give you the short answer later. And I see Dean Chambers is in the green room, but his camera's not working, I don't think. Let's see. First of all, let's check his salary, right? $27 million. So what's the trade, right? So if Trey is making $27 million, then who are you trading him for? You got to salary match that, right? So that would be my question. And the answer to that, boy, 27 million. They'd probably do it. No, hang on for the helicopter. All right. Little military action here in the city of Palo Alto. I guess Draymond. So it's not Draymond, right? So to answer your question, it's not Draymond. Needs Steph approval. Steph wouldn't trade him. Do the Pelicans want KP? Is Trey a huge upgrade over Yaxel? We got a salary match, right? You could trade Porzingis and Yaxel, right? So Draymond straight up, but they want a pick. Do the Pelicans want KP? Is Trey a huge upgrade over Yaxel? Because on KP plus Yaxel, right? So pods, what? Okay. You want to trade pods. What did the Bucks get for Giannis? What was the Giannis trade to Miami? And what did the Bucks get? Yeah, they took all their young talent, right? If Pods and KP had any sort of value, then wouldn't we have traded for Giannis? But they don't have any value. Therefore, Giannis went to Miami and they got Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, which is a good one for the future. Jaime's not bad. Jakachonis, but Tyler Hero is some talent. So you're putting Pods in the deal. So I don't know. Thoughts on the Rockets? Wow. Okay. This is Let's Go Warriors, but okay. The Rockets, I mean, you just got to look at their roster, right? So just go to capsheets.com, click on Houston Rockets. And I guess they're just going to add Fred VanVleet to whatever they didn't have last season. Is that good enough? Steven Adams as well. He'll be back. I will say this. Amen Thompson and a lot of 2023 draft picks are going to be restricted free agents. So that's going to be interesting. We could come over the top and do a sign-in trade with Houston next summer. Like I said, all of these trade scenarios. So we didn't even get Trey Murphy off the ground because he just doesn't substantially improve the team over the addition of Yaxel, or what kind of a team do we have with Trey Murphy? Are we contending? Or how does the OKC, how does versus OKC or Spurs look? There's Dean. All right, let's bring him back. Hey, Dean.
Still having problems with this camera, man. If it keeps, if it keeps happening, I'll switch to the phone. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should. I got sort of a new quote unquote because you coughed in the camera, couldn't handle it. So anyways, Marcus Smart is joining the Rockets. Lakers disrespected him. I mean, the Lakers did a soft reset, right? So the Lakers got to go free agent shopping, which is what the Warriors should do next summer, right? So again, a lot of these contracts come off the books. Kristaps Porzingis is only on the hook for $3 million. That's a lot of cap space to go out there and poach Amen Thompson. Let's go look at Houston one more time. I mean, what do you think? What do you think Amen wants? He wants the maximum, right? So where's Houston? Oh, it's over here on capsheets.com. Let me change this to Houston. He'll get the qualifying offer of 17 million. But he's going to want like 25 million, maybe 30. Amen probably want 30 million. Then you got Sengun at 37 million. So are you going to pay both of those guys a lot of money? They've got some decisions to make next year, right? Still paying Kevin Durant. Let's see, where's he at? Player option for 46 million. So if Houston struggles, there's some options that are out there. Jabari, probably want to get rid of Jabari. I think Jabari would be a good fit with the Warriors. How old is he? 1 year older than Amen, or I can't remember. Let's see, player info. Yep, 1 year older than Amen. Could do it, sign and trade for Amen. I mean, for Jabari. Amen. I mean, you could do a sign and trade for Amen as they're doing for Peyton Watson, or that's being rumored right now. And that may be one reason to actually extend Brandon Pajemski. If you kind of know you're going to need to trade him for somebody. So that's going to be my assessment of Brandon Pajemski coming up. Dean Chambers is back again. Hey, Dean.
Let's see.
Oh, okay. You're on your laptop? Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to try it without the background, see if that's
this
too
is
much for it to
interesting.
handle or something.
Hey, look at this. I guess the Wolverine is kind of a Houston fan, maybe. And he's saying, should we go after Kevin Durant? I say no. Too old. We need a soft reset. We need to soft reset the team next summer. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, it would have to depend on what we'd have to give up, really.
I'm not giving up anything to pay Kevin Durant $46 million next year.
Oh, yeah.
Hard pass for me. Yeah. So hard pass for me. I don't see any scenario. In fact,
I mean, I don't know. I like KD. I like KD, but that's a lot of money.
We all like KD,
but
he's
Kevin
old.
Durant. No, not everybody. Not everybody, even the Bay, likes him. Poor guy. But,
I guess. Yeah, you're right.
All
right,
it would be fun, you know. Hey, let's get Clay as well, but I don't know.
Well, you're not getting both. They're both too old.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Eric G of NBADraft.net earlier today, and I agree with him. We should be looking at targets next summer that are all 25 years and under. I totally agree with them. And there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be on restricted free
25? That seems a little young. I think
not when the 2023 draft class is up for extensions. It makes perfect sense.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Robbie, I saw you left a comment. I just haven't gotten around to it, Robbie, on one of the posts on our YouTube community tab. But here you are. You're saying, I don't know if it's a real truth or starting a move for now in the future. If they're going to do a move is for the future. That whole thing about Lacob wants to prove that he can build a team after Steph. Like, again, this is just trying to throw Lacob under the bus, because that's what we do on social media these days. That's what drives clicks. It's a pretty sad state of society to look around for a target to make fun of every day. And so, Robbie, listen, every owner is trying to come up with the next, era after, unless it's Wemby and you're currently in it, unless it's Shea. I mean, we're trying to make fun of Lacob for doing what an owner wants to do. I don't get it. So unless there's some more nuance that we need to talk about there, it's doom scrolling. It's people on Twitter. They're suffering. People are suffering all over the world, and they're just projecting their suffering from whatever it really is to an easy target, which is the Warriors.
Yeah, well, let's put it another way too. Don't you want someone else to be able to be a number one option? You don't want to have to rely on Steph to be the number one option game in, game out, year in, year out until his career's over. Like, you want to get in somebody who, like, hey, man, I'll put up the 28 points tonight. So I was thinking about that. Like, we all want Steph to have another guy. I think Kevin Durant's Monte Ellis when he was a rookie, but like Kevin Durant's like the only other guy who ever averaged 25 a game next to Steph. And we were like unbeatable. Other than that, Steph's had to be the number one scorer by far, by like 8-10 points a night every year, other than those 2.5 seasons with KD, So I would love to get another player who we can, obviously Steph's going to be important, but, here's the ball. It's one of the reasons I was, and I think this is the most, I saw your poll, Rich, and I voted.
Cool.
Yeah. I think the Jaylen Brown thing was so fascinating. We were texting about this, but one of the reasons I thought it was so interesting to be able to look at him was because, he's kind of a one-on-one scorer type. And I love that idea of like give the ball to him and let the Curry magic off the ball work everywhere else. And we'll get into that later, but we need that, man. It will really. That's one of the reasons Jimmy was so good. He wasn't putting up 25 a night, of course, but you can just give him the ball and let him run the offense, which is important. I love Dre. I love his decision making, playmaking, but he can't do that because he's not a scorer. So just here, Jimmy. Here's the ball. Make something happen. That was so nice, and it's going to be so nice when we get him back. I think Warriors fans forgot because we didn't see him that much. But hey, we don't have to give Steph the ball this possession. We're good. That we need that, man. We need as much of that as we can get, especially as these guys get older.
Yeah, it took a while for the team to adjust to that too, and so finally we got there. And then 4 games in, kind of got injured. It felt like taking us a while to get to a point where we had Jimmy fully integrated. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. And that's the other thing about how really when people go, oh, Steph needs help, that's another, phrase that's been uttered a lot on social media. Steph needs healthy teammates.
Yeah, he needs help, but what does that contribute to anything? Do you think the front office is oh, we should get him help? Oh, if only I thought of that years ago. No, they know that. They know that. But we're also not going to do a Jaylen Brown trade or a Luka Doncic trade and take this huge risk, which may not pay off, which, all of your assets are gone. There are other – you don't want your team with the twilight, the sunset years of Steph Curry to go around making these rash decisions like the Mavericks. I think even though they got Cooper Flag, I think we can all agree that didn't work because Davis isn't there, right? And I don't think the Boston trade was a good trade. I don't think that's going to work. These are just rash decisions. We're not going to do that. So I'm sorry, but the Warriors have been right to be patient. And they make more moves than you think.
Which one was a rash decision?
Both of them.
Name them again?
The Luka trade by the Mavericks and the Jaylen Brown trade by the Celtics.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Real quick to just check off the box. Someone mentioned DeMar DeRozan. I did a whole live on DeMar, and we could outbid Miami if we still went the non-taxpayer mid-level route, which was LeBron was going to go that route, and so which is why I have DeMar in both of these thumbnails. But to do the whole non-taxpayer mid-level thing, you had to get under the tax. That meant Draymond had to take a huge discount. Now, if Draymond takes a huge discount, then you're spreading that money over multiple years. That means you're committed to paying Draymond
was it 15
next
million?
Season, at least $15 million next season. And you would have to trade Moses out to create that space. Moses makes $13.4 million next season. So if I'm just looking at these as numbers on a spreadsheet, I'd rather have, it's only a $2 million difference, or 1.5. I'd rather have Moses at 13.4 million committed than anybody at 15.
And you're looking at the summer of 27 there.
Yep. This is the summer of 27 right here, that column. So again, we're repeating ourselves, but just to be blunt, to get Steph a 5th ring, the best thing to do is to make all these moves and hit the soft reset button, just like the Lakers did. Do that next summer when all these contracts come off. Thanks, brother. New subscriber. He's a Steph fan, even though he likes Marcus Smart too, which is odd because Marcus Smart injured Steph the one time. But anyways, Smart.
Steph sort of smacked him in the privates in the finals to get an open 3. So You got him back a little bit, but always respected Marcus Smart a lot, and thank you for subscribing to the channel, Mr. Wolverine.
All right, we'll get back to Tingus Pingus and the subject of this title, which is to go down the list of all the different superstar targets. But one last thing that I was commenting typing in the comments while you were talking, Dean, is Robbie, who does a good job of keeping a pulse on who says what out there. Brett Siegel has reported that looks like Pods, if you were extend them at like $17 to $24 million range. I think that's over 20 is a little bit too rich, if you will. No pun intended, but right now you're seeing contracts for like Kuminga's not even going to get 20. Peyton Watson's going to barely scratch 20 in all of these scenarios right now. Like, there's no way Podziemski should get paid more than like a Peyton Watson, because Peyton Watson is an athlete. He can get up and down, two-way wing. Pods is much smaller at 6'5". So let's wait for some benchmarks to happen. But if he does get an extension, and by the way, his cap hold, which is a good benchmark to have. Here's something that you don't learn on other channels. But his cap hold is going to be, we'll look at it next season. Thank you, Yossi Goslin, for this wonderful website. But the cap hold on Brandon is $17 million. So him and his agent would love for the number to be above that, because that's just sort of, I don't want to say minimum, but that's kind of like the target, at least. Of course,
what is
higher.
What is the cap hold? Why is it at 17 million?
It is a percentage of what he's making right now.
It's an increase based on okay.
It's an increase so that you can't just zero him out and go out and get free agents that easily. You have to put this number by his name and then do all the transactions in the right way. I need to go back to Yossi Goslin's article on how the Lakers did all their maneuvering to create the team that they created here, with Walker Kessler, Quentin Grimes, Colin Sexton. But there's an order to this, and so it depends on if we give Brandon an extension, then that number will go up. So that's another variable that's going on here, where I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't give Brandon Podziemski an extension and we just said, hey, look, let's just figure this out in the summer, because we're having a lot of contracts come off the books. And by the way, I think the cap hold is some function of this qualifying offer. It might be, is it double that? I'm not sure. It might be double that. But
yeah, maybe.
Anyways, on Podziemski, so if he does sign an extension, that doesn't mean he's necessarily going to be a Warrior throughout, because there's all these other players out there, just depending on how teams do, like Jabari Smith is making $21 million. I'm just randomly mentioning him because DPOY mentioned the Houston Rockets and Marcus Smart. So I just saw his name and it'd be like, I think Jabari would fit well in this system, and can we somehow maneuver to get him? But it's a lot more doable when all these contracts come off next summer. But I think actually one thing we need to get to, you and I, on this live stream eventually tonight, is take a look at what Utah and Washington did at the trade deadline. We lost Dean, but he'll come back. So that's something we'll come back to as well. So I think the next thing would be to just go down the list of like, should we have traded for Jaylen Brown and so on and so forth. But we'll come back to that. Let's take a look at some other comments. Robbie, Kings trying to move out LaVine, but no one is calling. Kings thinking about buyout for Zach. Yeah, I mean, like Zach LaVine doesn't really move me all that much. So whatever happens, happens. And that's probably why we haven't signed anybody to these last few roster slots right here. I have 3 slots available. And maybe one of them's a rookie minimum, but maybe not. Maybe just keep the 15th open. But yeah, I don't know. I've got 2 veterans minimums here will fit us under the second apron where we need to be. In fact, the rookie minimum is going to be, let's see. It's on this spreadsheet. Here's the rookie vet min. And that'll put us I lost my spreadsheet. Here it is. Melton at the taxpayer mid-level. That's with, we did that last live stream. That's with Draymond getting that $27 million. And then, yeah, we have enough to fit us under the second apron, which we're hard capped at. All right. Dean's back.
We'll see.
Okay. So DPOY thinks Zach LaVine will get bought out. All right, fine. Let's go look at his. I mean, what are some examples of buyouts, Dean? Like, they're going to buy him out for this amount minus the veterans minimum? I don't think so. So,
well, sometimes, part of buyouts is that you give up some of that money, but even if you gave up half, that'd still be,
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money they still have to pay him that, whatever money they have, and they get nothing for him. And I actually really like Zach LaVine. The problem is always the contract. He just paid way too much because the teams he played for were bad and just loose with their money, meaning he never got to go to a contender. But it's the money, man. Look, if he gets bought out by the Kings, God bless him. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a guy like that on the team, but
yeah, I just don't think he'll go anywhere for the minimum. But could be wrong.
Who knows?
I just don't think he'll get bought out. But
yeah.
Also, they've told him, hey, look, we might not play you at all just because we're trying to rebuild. So, FYI. So maybe he'll find a buyout, but kind of doesn't need to do it right now. You can wait around till the deadline. We'll see, but it's hard to do when he's making that much. Like I would say our chances of getting Clay at a veterans minimum are higher than getting Zach LaVine, only because Clay makes less. So he'd have to give up less, presumably.
Yeah.
The 3 more spots. What do you mean by Dalton? Dalton Connect?
Yeah.
He's not.
I think those are the 3 guys he wants.
Oh, okay. What's the trade for Dalton Connect? He's not a free agent, is he?
I think the Lakers waived him. I think.
Oh, he just got waived?
I think so.
Okay, let's look at their cap sheet. I'd be shocked if they just waived him. Uh-oh. Computer's having problems. There we go.
Los Angeles.
Well, the cap sheet isn't coming up, oddly.
No one knows.
His entire website is screwed. Okay, let's go here. That's why we go to other cap sheets. Is it my internet? No. Okay. Dalton Connect, $4 million. So no, he didn't. Why would you waive that? I don't get it. No, I don't think he's been waived. Go to Dalton Connect on Hoopside, go to rumors, and see if he got waived. They're trying to move him. Okay, so they're trying to move them. I mean, I don't get too worked up about veterans minimum slots because they're veterans minimums. I mean, they're literally the 12th man on the team, the 13th and the 15th, maybe even the 13th man on the team, considering how good Will Richard is. So, yeah, whoever. Bruce Brown, he's kind of short for my taste. And look at the three guys that you want. You want Bruce Brown, GP2, and Dalton Connect. So one guy's 6'2", the other guy's what, 6'3". I don't know about the 6'2" and the 6. Two guys that are under 6'3". I don't know about that. I'd rather get Brandon Williams. Get a younger guy. Like, you don't really. I mean, let's bring in some guys that we can sort of co-develop. So I would prefer Brandon Williams over GP2 and Bruce Brown. I wouldn't mind Dalton Connect, but at $4 million, how are you doing that? Like, that's not a minimum. So there's some mathematical problems with those. Just so you know. Back to the we'll do a separate live on this, but who's available next summer? Yeah, it'd be nice if Jokic was available, right? Or if the Nuggets implode, and then you can entice.
I think Jokic is going to be a free agent. I think he's going to at least hit the free agent waters and not sign an extension. It just puts pressure on the Nuggets to be better anyway. Unfortunately, sometimes players have to do that, So, yeah.
Next one. We're just going one by one in the comments. This guy's drunk the Kool-Aid. And I can't add him. So, oh well, maybe you're still listening. You guys really think Yaxel and Draymond have some problem with each other? Didn't Draymond just clear that up on his Draymond show? I'm not sure, but that's just false. I don't even need to ask my inside guy with Yaxel about that. In fact, there's a lot of overlaps between the Yaxel camp and the Draymond camp. We heard that here first. There are some major overlaps. Literally,
like Rich, like you.
Literally, they're literally just joking in terms of Michigan versus Michigan State.
Oh yeah.
But you are doom scrolling on Twitter. Let me tell you what happened. Unfortunately, you doom scrolled on Twitter and you believed everything you saw. It's just a bunch of angry people outraged on Twitter, really just mad that the fact that the Warriors couldn't really do anything because of this 84.83% locked up. Like, we can't trade anybody above the Al Horford line here. So, hate to break it to you. Okay.
There's also there's a little bit of trauma from the Jordan Poole, who also went to Michigan. Stuff. I think, I don't know. I think that's something. What's up, Bruce? As the Warriors' turns continue. Yeah. I think that's something that, I'm totally not worried about. Mostly has been a pretty.
If you're still here, this is the exact video you need to watch. Because the next thing he said, I'm so surprised the Warriors didn't make a single move. Well, the whole time, ever since I first appeared on Yossi Goslin's April 3 months ago on this video, the first thing I said is, he goes, so who would you trade for, Rich? First thing I said was, I don't know that we can trade for anybody. We're stuck. All these guys are old and injured. I said that in April. And he goes, all right. And then I actually, because he had texted me before and made me choose somebody. So I said, all right, I don't think it's going to be Anthony Davis, but the other one might be Kawhi. And I came up with this whole idea to get Kawhi, which I loved. I still love, but it ain't happening because the Clippers don't want Jimmy. Like, it's pretty much nobody wants an injured Jimmy. So here was my Kawhi one. And yeah, so here's more Kawhi. Bunch of thumbnails with Kawhi in it. Just look for that. That's why we couldn't do anything, is because nobody wants these guys. The Giannis trade proved to everybody that Milwaukee wants something back, not injured guys. And they got a few guys back. They're not fantastic, but they're
that was a bad trade too. Oh my God.
They're playable young guys. Yeah, you got bad trades right now because it's really because of the second apron. That's a trickle-down effect for everything. Let's see.
No, we're not going to. I don't think there's any way we tank this season. Nah.
Oh, boy. Who said that?
War Eagle, K5Z, Z, maybe.
I'll get to it.
Look, we already got Yaxel, man. We're trying to prove that we can make the playoffs to
there is no
free agents.
Adam Silver made sure of that.
Yeah. As soon as we got a good lottery pick, here's the tanking rules. Last time we won a championship, here's the second apron.
Did you see? So that's why it makes me think like you're just saying that to be cool or something, because everybody knows Adam Silver killed tanking.
Our bodies with Bruce, man. Bruce.
Bruce Brown. Oh, Bruce Morrow brings scoring to the Warriors? No.
Yeah.
Bruce Brown brings scoring to the Warriors. Do they? Does he?
I like Bruce Brown.
Brandon Williams or Bruce Brown? I think Brandon Williams.
I don't know. I've never really seen Brandon Williams. So
just look at his stats.
Bruce Brown has a championship.
Brandon Williams gets to the cup. He one-on-one, he blows away Bruce Brown. It's a different – we are not needing Bruce Brown. A couple of years ago, 2022, Bruce Brown would have been great. This is not a contending team. So until we become contending, then let's look for the guys that add to contending teams.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I think we should be aiming for the third seed in the West. I really do.
We got to prove it. I know that. I know. So I am against getting Bruce Brown. I don't want to waste a veterans minimum spot that could be Brandon Williams, that is young, that is, can be developed. I'm not using that on Bruce Brown. We're not in the position to get a guy that, complements a championship contending team. So for me, third seed isn't quite there yet. I got to really be comfortable about us being the third seed, being able to topple the second seed. Now, that may change by February if Jimmy comes back, maybe Moody comes back, and we're kind of like full strength. Again, that'd be really cool. Kind of like the Niners. That'd be interesting. All right. So let's see. Wow. Robbie went and researched runner's knee. Cool. Says manageable. Yeah. Haven't you noticed, gosh, man, Dean, I've seen a lot of bad takes from a lot of respected Warriors reporters lately. Yeah. I'm not going to name names, but there's some pretty famous names out there that are basically throwing the Warriors under the bus or could not resist the temptation to thumb type something that was outrage or complaining. And they go, we're a 37-win team. You got to do something. Well, if you had the spreadsheet in your back pocket like I've had since April here, then you'd know that we're a little bit. Look, this is bad luck. This is hugely bad luck. There's some things you can blame. Chris Stapps is one of these guys, and that guy used to be Jonathan Kuminga, right? So maybe we could have developed him better and had more value into this 20 million-ish number. But so getting back to what I was going to say is, I think a lot of from the top to the bottom, even the very top, the most respected Warriors reporters with the most tenure. And on the flip side of that, I will say my top 3 reporters so far that are getting it right. Number 1 is Nick Friedel. which if Warriors Twitter watched this live stream, they would think like, no, not Nick Friedel, Rich, you suck. First of all, Nick is an awesome human being, number one. If more people knew that, I think they would not be as angry at Nick Friedel. Number two,
it's just his voice, man. I think his voice makes him sound grumpy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, but he's the jolly green giant everywhere. Yeah. He's always laughing, always chuckling, and he always makes light of situations. But when he's outraged about something, which is he's outraged about the outrage, which I kind of am too. I mean, he's the only one out there saying, okay, what was your move? What were you going to do? So in essence, it's as if he's been watching our live streams. Like he knows, like there's not much tradable assets on this chart right here. Number two is a tie. Anthony Slater, because he just does his job. He reports what he knows from the front office with his insider connections, and he just reports it, and he doesn't tweet any opinions. And if he does have an opinion, it's on ESPN, and it's said in a nice way that's not like throwing them under the bus, or that he really cares. You're not supposed to like care if you're a traditional reporter like him. And then finally, Tim Kawakami, which another guy that has pretty much deduced some of the stuff. Not really a cap sheet guy, which is unfortunate, but he doesn't have the time to do that. He's busy getting inside stuff on the Niners, on the Giants, on the Sharks. So he's busy.
I do think journalists, though, going forward are going to have to be cap sheet guys. It's just becoming more and more complex where, you know,
even
it's not just relationships anymore. The math is now complex enough where you have to delve into that a lot more. So I think we'll see more and more, even Shams and stuff. They're going to have to, you know, start talking about like this is what the restrictions are.
Yeah, well, Shams, to his credit, a lot of
you're way ahead of that, Rich. Like this channel is already way ahead of that, and I like to hope that you know, I inspired you a little because I freaked out about the second apron and just had to go through all this stuff back in 23 and like,
dude, you are my inspiration.
It really is paying off now, you know, because you're teaching me way more, you know, than.
Well, I learned it all from Yossi Goslin, so you guys can check him out. Just watch every live stream. I learned so much from him. But let's see. By the way, one thing I need to tell you guys about, if you're on Kick, you guys heard of kick.com? Please follow us. We're trying to get to the 75 subscribers mark, which then you can monetize your Kick account. But it seems to be, you know, something cool to do because it's all about live streaming, what we're doing right now. And so go check that out. And let's keep on going in the comments. So yeah, I got number one, believe it or not, the people in Dub Nation that agree with what we're seeing on spreadsheets is Nick Friedel and then Anthony Slater and Tim Kawakami. They just have they talk to Warriors front office people all the time. So they're in good shape. And so does Shams. So he gets a lot of the trickle down on all these apron things. And I think he did get something wrong, Dean, on the whole Jaylen Brown thing, which we can talk about. Maybe you can explain it while I kind of go through the comments. But like he said that the Warriors at the trade deadline could have traded for Jaylen Brown for 4 first-round picks at the time. And then Slater comes on ESPN and says it happened near the draft. Now, he didn't say, oh, Shams got it wrong, it happened near the draft. No, he just said it was near the draft. So that 4th pick would have been Yaxel or whoever they wanted to pick at 11 if it was Boston. And so the Shams one at the trade deadline makes absolutely no sense. So that's just complete misinformation. And it just him saying that on TV threw the Warriors under the bus again. So I don't understand where that motivation was coming from. It was just weird because, like, I don't know, maybe he should be a better journalist if it, in fact, he meant that it was before the draft. Because think about it. Go back to the deadline. Boston is number 2 in the East. They're like championship contending. We were having polls.
And they knew at that point that Tatum was going to be back at some point that season.
That's right.
Yeah.
And maybe they were already thinking about how, oh yeah, we're never going to afford JT and JB as 74%. By the way, 74%, look at us, 84% of the entire salaries going to those two guys. Like, so maybe that had already been incepted, but they weren't going to trade Jaylen Brown in February. Are you kidding me? Like that's just.
Well, I think they were
BS.
Looking at a trade for Giannis, though, weren't they?
Yeah. So maybe what they were trying to do was trying to trade Jaylen to get the picks to then use for Giannis. But then who do you trade? I guess it's a 3-team trade, and Milwaukee ends up with Jimmy. Like, that ain't working. Again, you're back to Milwaukee.
No, because we were trying to get Giannis, and we didn't have Jimmy in there. It was Draymond and
well, we don't know that.
Or something, I think.
Yeah, it had to be Kuminga, Draymond and Kuminga, which also, like, look, we just don't have the assets, and the Kuminga asset was devalued by Steve. But that's another, I don't blame him though. Steve is Steve. You can't ever do everything perfectly.
It's over and done with. We don't have to talk about this anymore. Honestly, it's over now.
Get Poole and Clay. Poole makes too much money, my friend.
Yeah.
So you gotta find guys that don't have bloated contracts, right? And that's Cap Sheets 101. That's Let's Go Warriors 101. Now it's expiring, but I mean, what's the trade, right? So that's one of the things that we'd like you to do here. I mean, I guess I could come up with a trade for you, but then I'm doing your work. Like, I never wanted Jordan Poole to come back, and I don't think he's over the fact that the whole punch. He's not over that yet. So, which is fine. Everybody plays basketball. It's modern day gladiator. It's very competitive.
Well,
so
also,
you have to have an ego to be successful.
We said he'd be here for 4 years and traded him 4 days later. So I can get why he wouldn't, really. I don't think Poole or JK are coming back. I'm being honest.
Definitely.
Clay might. Those two probably not. I would love him back, but I don't think so.
So yeah, get younger guys. Thank you. I would love to get younger guys as well.
Yeah, get a big star player.
Should we do a poll? Let's do a poll. How many wins would we have had with Steph? And how many games do you think he would have played healthy? Let's go look at his BK ref.
What, last year?
Yeah.
Well, if you go to his 2026 season, on the left, you can see how many games he won and lost when he played.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec. I guess at least 60 games, because 2022 he had 60. All right. Where do I go?
It's right there.
There we go. Yeah. 24 starts, 24 wins, 19 losses. Ooh.
We almost always have like a 55% winning percentage when Steph plays. It's unbelievable. No matter how bad the team is.
That would have been 48 wins. Almost 50 wins.
Yeah, I know. He's really, really good at basketball, man. This guy's one of the greatest of all time.
But that's assuming you have have 82 starts.
I know.
So then you got to shave that down by 60 out of 80. So 48 wins, 3/4 of that would be 12. That's still 36 wins. That doesn't add up. Well, we ended up where we ended up, 37 wins. But anyways, how many wins would we have had with Steph playing 60 games? 55 wins. I don't know, 50, 45. How many wins did we have the year before? 70 games, and we lost to Minnesota.
Yeah.
41 wins. Yeah, he's usually good for. Okay, let's see. What was our record? 46.
You can just click on the team on GSW.
48 and 34.
Yeah. Nice. So in 12 games, we only had 7 wins without him. Is that it?
I hope Kerr will give a little green light to Gee. Yeah, we'll see. I hope he gives green light to everybody. I think if you give green light to like one guy, you kind of have to open it up. I don't know.
Just treat all the young guys like they're BP, and we're good.
We need a big star player. Yeah. So is Trey Murphy a big star player? I don't
think so. Has he played in the playoffs?
So you can't be mad about that one.
I mean, I'm not saying Trey Murphy can't be a really good player. Oh.
Oops, he got cut off. Dean got cut off. Let's see. We can get that star player next summer for sure. And we'll do another live on that. Yeah, Robbie notices with Shams. Yeah, that's because Warriors always drive clicks. We need an NBA 2K trade. That's the easy way to say it. Exactly. Dean is getting back in the green room. No back-to-back games. Yeah, I know, right? No back-to-back games. Boy, this is going to be tough to manage. So, Guy, Pods, Will, Yaxel, Cryer, Lejay, Bassie, GP2. Yeah. That's why I want more young guys. And GP2 is not on the team yet. And that's why Bruce doesn't want GP2, because he's an old guy and he, like me, wants to get younger. Steph is a greater player than LeBron. I said that in 2012 and got thrown under the bus for it. What else? Even the Pelicans have to try. Exactly. Melly Mills in the house. Thank you for joining us. So, yeah, we went through Jaylen Brown. We were going through the process of Jaylen Brown. And, yeah, a lot of this is piecemeal. But, okay, so if we traded for Jaylen Brown at the draft, 4 picks, the problem is I just don't know if Boston's going to take Jimmy Butler. We're right back to the same issue. That's why they went and did the Paul George deal. And everybody's going, oh, well, that wasn't a good trade. And the Warriors could have offered something better. But over and over again, when teams make trades, they're not trading for this guy that's injured at $56 million. Like, was Kyrie traded? No. I mean, like, who's been injured and traded other than Kristaps? And that was out of desperation with Jonathan Kuminga as well. I don't know. Someone name a guy, a star that's been traded while injured and unplayable. Like, you think Paul George for Jaylen Brown is going to rile up the Boston Celtics fans? Boy, it would have been Brad Stevens would not be able to exit his office unscathed if you traded Jaylen Brown for Jimmy Butler. So I need to stop that trade in its tracks, because I just don't see what is the trade to get Jaylen Brown. What is the salary matching? So Someone let me know what that would be. Looking at buyout. Yeah, well, earlier someone said Zach LaVine and Clay wants to go to Miami, needs a buyout. And I wouldn't want Clay myself because, again, a lot of old guys coming through the Warriors. Let's start bringing in some young guys.
Yeah.
So Zach LaVine was one of them. Oh, you did know that. Okay. Cavs, Lakers, Heat fans can't say that confidently. Yeah, I don't worry myself. Like, I love the game too much to worry about Steph versus LeBron comparisons. Right?
It's all your own draft board anyway. Where you rank a guy is what it's just what you value.
Why don't you just log in with your phone? That'll be fun. We lost.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try it one more time and then I'll do the phone. All right.
We might need to utilize some of our G League players. I mean, obviously, yes. We have 2 spots that are injured, Jimmy and Moses. So, yeah, definitely. All right, so I think we've crossed Jaylen Brown off this list. I think we've myth-busted that. Right? Who else is on our thumbnail? Let's do Anthony Davis. How's that? Anthony Davis is next. Well, Kawhi, I sort of did, right? I told you I wanted Kawhi ever since April. That was my grand idea. Trading Kawhi and Jimmy Butler to the Clippers and Podziemski. Trading Jimmy Butler and Podziemski and 3. Actually, I think we got away with 2 picks, but 3 picks for Kawhi Leonard. And that this is the live where I introduced my idea right here. And it actually got us under the luxury tax. And doing so would have allowed us to get LeBron. And I'm sure he would have considered it. The problem is the Clippers, again, they don't want an injured player. So they went out, traded with Toronto to get Brandon Ingram. So we're right back again to this whole notion of our guys are injured, so they're untradeable. How do you trade an injured guy? You just can't. Yeah, Robbie, I'm with you on getting the veterans minimum guys that are younger, even at the expense of Gary Payton II, to be honest with you. All right, next guy on the thumbnail will be Anthony Davis. Well, actually, we did Trey Murphy, right? I said early on, who are you trading him for? So go look at New Orleans. Probably repeating myself here. I don't know. We've already gone an hour in the live stream. 27 million, right? So what is it? Draymond straight up? Is it hey, Dean, you're sideways. You're going to have to reposition your phone. Or ask AI what to do about that. There you go. So I can remove you, right? Let's see. Hey, Dean. Yeah, phone's not.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Doing okay? All right.
Can you tilt your phone a little bit so you're in the middle of the circle? Oh, cool. Can I remove your other one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Trey Murphy, I don't know what the salary matching is there for Trey Murphy, and he's not an all-star, so I wouldn't make that trade. And then we're down to Anthony Davis and MPJ. So Anthony Davis, here's the problem. Can you guess what it is, Dean?
The money.
Yeah, he's got a player option for $62 million. And last year, he was not durable. So it's kind of hard for it's kind of hard to justify trading for a guy that can opt in for $62 million when last year he played 20 games and the year before that 51 and the year before that finally he was healthy in 24. So
well, the other thing is how do we, I mean, I think we're going to have to give up a lot of our draft picks because obviously you would think that that's what Washington wants. And we lose all of our cap space in the summer.
Yep.
It's gonna. I mean, he's not going to want to be traded here, and then, or we get him, keep the cap space, don't give him an extension, and what? He leaves.
Yep.
Oh. I don't know.
So Melly Mel's, doesn't spend too much time on Twitter. Good for you, Melly. So he hasn't heard all of the, we're only running it back. Oh no. But yeah, that's what's happening. We're only running it back. That's, again, there's nothing we can do about that when you can't trade any of these top 6 guys, and really you're not trading Yaxel at this point. And another thing on Yaxel, if there's one thing that Nick Friedel kind of has said, this is not throwing him under the bus. It's just a comment that I don't agree with him 100%. He says that Yaxel cannot be the savior. I mean, it just depends on what you mean by savior. I mean, any one of the 5 starters on any given night can save the team, right? So I don't know that, that's where sometimes social media puts a label on something and then all of a sudden it's like you're branded that. We don't do that at Let's Go Warriors. We try to avoid these labels. Let's just let them play. Roll out the ball and let's play. And so many different things can happen in a basketball game. So we need Yaxel there. He's a presence that we need. And so he's going to play. And therefore, he's also untradeable. Can't really trade Melton because you just signed him. There's literally like a 6-month window, I think, right, Dean?
Yeah.
So the only trade chip you have is Brandon Pajewski at under $6 million. So, like, guys, if you understand this, then us running it back is really not a big deal. Like, really how we were going to improve the team was to make the right 11th pick, which was either going to be Burries or Lendeborg. I'm glad we got Yaxel because he's 6'9", as opposed to 6'4". A lot of good teams in the West. Yeah. Hey, you mentioned Jazz. What do you think about the Jazz? You have a little, emotional. Oh, can you tilt your screen one more time? It's a little bit more so that you're in the middle, because if I do that's good enough. So what do you think about Utah coming up? Someone asked, who's your top 8 in the West?
Well,
I'm going to say Warriors at 6 just because.
Oh God, no, we're better than that.
Hopefully,
if you just say, give me the roster that they have right now of able to play in April, I think we're number 3. Yeah, I really do. We have a strong 10-man roster. As far as Utah, of course, I'm excited to see. Seems like there's a lot of young talent there, and Darren Peterson and Ace Bailey, your last 2 draft picks, are athletic wings, which the Jazz have not normally had. It's mostly been point guards and power forwards and centers and things like that. So always, that's the thing, you need good big men, you need good point guards to like get you over the top. But what you really need is great wing scorers, So I'm excited for that. I'm interested to see how I really, I still like marketing him, so I'm interested to see how he's integrated with all the other younger pieces. But they're inexperienced, so I would love one of the things about Utah, just quickly, is that the Jazz like never tanked ever until Ainge showed up, like never. Which might not always be the smartest idea in the short term, but it meant that you were always in the playoffs every year, meaning you were always fielding an experienced team. Well, they got the talent and the draft picks. Now let's see if they can make the playoffs, because real Jazz fans don't root for the team when they're tanking. They just don't do it. Small markets tanking, that's a recipe for disaster for decades on end. So start making the playoffs again. Got to start making the playoffs again, man. That's what I think. But we'll see. They look like they have talented players. So you think the Warriors are the 6th team in the West, Rich?
At least, but we'll see.
At worst.
We're doing predictions again. Like, why would I do that? Why would I paint myself into a corner? So now you can clip this and say I'm a terrible person later on when they're not the 6th, whether they're one.
That's exactly what I was planning on doing, actually. Yeah.
So
spreading it all over social media. You have to have a lot of time in your hands to do that, man. I just have to tell you that. You're clipping people on a live stream. Doesn't matter.
Okay, let's see. He has to earn his minutes. Everybody has to earn his minutes. That's no doubt. I think this is getting a little out of hand. Kuminga had it rough because he didn't want to follow what was told. Let's pump the brakes there. And gosh, of course, Warriors Twitter and everybody else is going to want to make you feel like Kuminga's this terrible basketball player. Kuminga's Kuminga. Like, the guy was in the Democratic Republic of Congo with a war going on outside, and he's looking at YouTube clips of Kobe Bryant. I mean,
at an internet cafe.
At an internet cafe, and we want to crucify this guy for being slow to be able to follow instructions to do what Guy does. By the way, Guy had an advantage. The only way to make Team Brazil in his country is to dive after loose balls and everything. Kuminga doesn't even have a national team. I mean, back in the day, they do now.
They do now, but yeah.
Guys, can we give this guy some grace? He's a pretty damn good player to come out of the Democratic Republic of Congo. I would challenge any of us to be the 7th pick and then, have the career that he's having.
Or just go to a country 6,000 miles away at 13? To be in high school alone? Having to play sports in order to, not be deported, probably. Man, that sucks. So yeah, but I mean, we both like Kuminga a lot. It's over. There's no reason to talk about this anymore. What's the point?
I feel like Mel's is a little low on Yaxel. I don't know what else Yaxel had to do in the last couple weeks, both at California Classic and Vegas, to make you feel more confident about him. But okay.
Summer League doesn't matter that much, but you couldn't have had a better summer league than Yaxel, if it matters at all, really. You know?
Oh, cool. Let's see. Melly Mel's email me sometime about the Discord. I need to fix something. Because when you sign up now, you'll get signed up on the Valkyries one, but at least you'll be signed up on the Valkyries one. I can switch it over, but there's a problem with that right now. I just need a whole day to work on it. That's the problem. When something like Discord isn't working, you need to like budget a whole day. And I just got back from a family reunion, so that was great. Boy, I feel blessed to be in the family that I'm in. So lucky. So it's a great feeling. Player salary left. Yeah, Paul Kenna right here. We have 1, 2, 3 slots left. 15th slot does not need to be filled. So basically you're looking at a veterans minimum and another veterans minimum. I think what we'll do is unless
those veterans minimums are what, 5-year? Because they go up and down based on years of experience.
Yeah, but the cap charge is at the 2-year level, which is 2.449 million, as you can see on the screen. So if it's Bruce Brown, if it's Gary Payton, you know, Brandon Williams, there's the one that I'm looking for. If it's Brandon Williams, it's going to be that amount. And I mean, whoever, DeMar DeRozan, you know, just name a name. Klay Thompson, okay, fine. Yeah, you know. But Klay's not a free agent, by the way. He needs to do a buyout with Dallas. And by the way, why would Dallas buy out Klay? I mean, he's going to have some value. He has value right now. Miami wants him. Why not just keep him, see what happens, and then try to trade him and get something back in February?
I think they might package him and Kyrie together. You know?
Yeah, but you got to wait till February. Kind of need to rebuild those assets.
Sure.
Yeah.
Get closer to them both being healthy too, you know.
Oh, there you go. I like that attitude, Otney. Every year is the most exciting year ever. Why? Because it's basketball, man, and it's the Warriors, and you know why Dean's here. Because we got Steph Curry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Until we don't, we got a shot.
All right. Time to do the MPJ. That's the one we haven't looked at yet.
Oh, yeah. That's no.
Here's the problem. How do you salary match MPJ? Because that one, it doesn't.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Bad back, ball stopper, MAGA. 3 strikes, mate.
Well,
sorry.
I could maybe argue on his behalf on the ball stopper thing, because if you just
he didn't want to pass to Jokic, man.
Well, just I mean, was Klay all that bad the year before he left? I mean, he was ball hoggy here and there. I mean, how many games did Klay lose for us?
Yeah, but Klay moves without the ball.
There you go. So that's the
MPJ
thing.
doesn't move as much.
Wouldn't MPJ do that out of respect for Steph?
And maybe he didn't do it for Jokic.
Okay. Well, anyways, you guys are getting the absolute worst about MPJ right here
from Dean. Yeah.
Dean of positivity.
Yeah, throwing people, tossing people under bus after bus.
Dean does not want Michael Porter Jr., although he is an expiring contract. So maybe if the shit hits the fan in February, okay, maybe. But then we have to rehabilitate Kristaps at the very least, $20 million right there. But then you'd have to send out another $20 million, and that's tough to do because, like.
And if we're getting him but letting him go, if we're trading something for him but then not signing him to keep the cap space, isn't that kind of just getting rid of money?
And Brooklyn wants draft picks.
They're going to want, yeah. But look, all these teams that were in the lottery, other than us, if there's a trade, they want picks back. It's all the Thunder now, man. It's all about acquire as many draft picks as you possibly can because they always have value and they're cheap contracts. And they're just sort of part of the transaction now in a way that they weren't in the past. Now they're the coin of the realm, man. You know, you need
All
them.
right. Melly actually doesn't have anything against Yaxel. Cool. Thanks. Email me. Anybody can email me. My email, rich@letsgowarriors.com. You can even email Dean.
Really?
Dean at Let's Go Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Can we get players from G League and sign for vet min? Who did you have in mind? Because like G League is going to be like the best G League players are going to be like Graham Ike. You know, like it's not like they're intriguing, but they're not ready for the NBA yet. So still supporting Kuminga. Yeah. Cool, bro. I like it too. Bruce. Okay, Bruce. We're letting Bruce get all his jokes out of the way. No, that's fine. Bruce wants Kelsey Plum on the Valkyries. Wow. Bruce, you saw the Natalie Nakase interview today, right? On our Let's Go Valkyries channel right here. Let's Go Valkyries. This is our Discord server. Let's Go Valkyries. There's Natalie Nakase says, don't F with the culture, man. So she doesn't want to trade anybody.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the team we have. I mean, yeah, why there's no other way to be. Like, you know what it comes down to, Dean? It's just really like, are you a person that suffers or not? Like, I mean, it really just comes down to that. Like, if you have stuff that you want to complain about, then you likely do not like somebody on the Warriors that you want to blame. And so far it's Joe Lacob. It hasn't even been Dunleavy's fault. Why is it Joe Lacob's fault? And then, you know, the other weird thing that doesn't add up logically, people go, oh yeah, Bob Myers, you know, he got Jaylen Brown and LeBron, you know, he was so great. And then you kind of go back and wait a minute, who picked, isn't he the one that picked Wiseman and Kuminga? So if he's this great, you know, you can't have it both ways. These people that just want to, that's why just don't throw anybody under the bus. That's what I learned in basketball. Like just running basketball leagues, being on teams, organizing teams to go to tournaments out of town, and then becoming credentialed with the Warriors, going to Warriors practice every single day. I mean, like Damian Lee wouldn't even let me film him throwing a football at practice. You're like, what? But the reason why is that would have looked bad, right? So there's that. There's like fun stuff to talk about, but even you shouldn't talk about that. You just never throw anybody under the bus. Like Luke Laux, I asked him. So he posted a video of somebody. It was when the team went to Seattle. Remember when KD preseason game, Seattle? I have video of that somewhere on the channel. And they went to the Seattle Seahawks practice. We weren't allowed, but they went. And they were playing football. Somebody threw a dime to somebody else, touchdown, went right through the guy's hands. And I just jokingly said, oh, who was that? Was it Mo Spates? Because I thought it looked like Mo. And Luke was like, no, I can't tell you because then he'll get thrown under the bus, even though it was just for fun. So like I learned some, you know, the hard way. I got my wrist slapped a few times. You're just going to be a much happier person if you just never throw anybody under the bus. Just don't.
It also, when it comes to pro athletes, you know, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. You know, they're always worried about, you know, who knows? Any little thing can be used, and probably would be used against them. You know, not that they don't make serious mistakes. Obviously that happens. But imagine like you didn't catch a football, and you're like worried about the press. Like, well, maybe this guy doesn't have good hands. Maybe he's a big man with stone hands. You can't play. You know, you shouldn't deserve as much money coming up next. It's like, oh my god. relax. But no, it's a crazy world out there. No, we have a good 10-man roster though. Really, when we're healthy. And I've been saying that for a while now. I just think we have, Steph, obviously. Again, having a guy like Jimmy where you can just give him the ball, let him run the offense. Since we didn't get LeBron, I think Yaxel should be gunning for that starting small forward spot. Draymond, I think, is still an excellent defender, and I want to keep reminding people, getting KP is, whoa, okay, yeah,
new hair. This is our Discord. Go check it out.
But KP, just quickly, and then we can get to Keith Ledger over here. But KP unlocks Draymond so much to me because he's a big man who can shoot, can protect the rim, and that allows Draymond to be a free roamer and with him and Horford. And it's too bad we weren't able to match with post. But Bassey, I'm excited to see him play a little bit more. But Draymond not having to play that small ball 5 more than just a few minutes and clutch game in the fourth or something where it's really a break in case of emergency rather than every single fourth quarter we have to go to it. I think that's going to transform everything because we just needed a big man. We just needed big men to compete, not have to play Draymond at the center. And everything, it's like, I don't know, it's like getting a spinal adjustment or something. Everything just moves down beyond that. And I'm very excited to see that. And we have some talented young players. BP, Moody, Will Rich, Melton, Santos.
Speaking of which, you were talking about KP. There's some stuff on KP here. Just a little bit of stuff. But I haven't posted this yet, but KP's back in Latvia racing cars. So he's got this Mercedes-Benz, and yeah, he's a car guy. But one other thing I wanted to,
Speaking of cars,
had to mute myself there, but it ended, thankfully. Okay, so KP, or what was in the chat? Oh, it was Melly Mel's. I mean, good point, Melly. He was like, he's learned to not get frustrated by, Giannis didn't happen, Lauri Markkanen didn't happen, and so on and so forth. Well, they didn't happen because of certain things, and we've tried to explain it. And every situation, there's something. I was told, I broke this news earlier on in February. We had the opportunity to get Jaren Jackson Jr., and last minute, it was Utah that swooped in. And so there's reasons for all these, but it's not like, same bottom line. You can't get mad about this stuff because you have to trust that we've looked at everything. And you make the right phone calls.
The Warriors front office.
The Warriors front office have looked at everything. Yeah. I mean, Kirk Lacob has said, it's somewhere, if you go search Kirk Lacob here in the management section, they have an AI that runs all these scenarios. So every name, there's only 450 names to trade. That's not a lot from a computing perspective. That's pennies. You could have AI look at every scenario and give you a report on it, like instantaneously these days. 450 players. That's not a huge data set at all. So yeah. And Amy even misses Andrew Wiggins. Yeah.
Oh,
look,
that's bad.
There's a lot of I've seen some tweets that even criticize other Warriors Twitter. Like there's a lot of Mandela effect going on, which is like rewriting of history. Like the whole Wiggins thing and Wiggins for Jimmy, and gosh, what are all these things? I've heard otherwise reasonable guys on Twitter like say that the whole issue has been we traded for Jimmy Butler and his contract. No, it's that Jimmy Butler got injured. Jimmy was doing fine. That was a great trade. Where are you getting this from?
Well, we went 23-7 when he was healthy when we first got him.
8 to be exact. And,
no, because he missed one of those games.
Oh,
and we lost. Yeah,
I remember the 23-8 being something that was bandied about by Raymond Ritter and stuff. So okay, if it's 23-7, it's 23-7. But yeah. So
the point is though, like we've actually made a lot of moves to try and help whatever situation we're in. But there's always some difficult thing that comes up, and we lost to a good Lakers team in 23 in the second round. Steph got hurt in 25 in the second round.
I was gonna say, Dean, like, let's go back to history and let's not rewrite history. Let's not do this Mandela effect thing. Like, don't you guys remember Andrew Wiggins' dad was going through a lot of stuff? So we didn't get 100% Wiggins the year after he helped us win a championship. And that happened for like a year and a half, it felt like.
Yeah, it was until like 20.
What can you do? I mean, like, just stop complaining. Look, we got 4 championships. This is why you stop complaining. It's because in basketball, you know what I learned early on, even before I ever got credentialed with the Warriors, just through basketball leagues, forming teams and playing in tournaments and whatnot, so much shit happens that you can never predict. Just be happy to be just a little bit over 500. You want to leave a legacy where I won more games than I lost. I definitely remember that. And we didn't have a whole lot of 2-10 seasons or what have you. We were never, perennially doormats. If we struggled, we were like 3-5, knocked out of the first round of the playoffs or what have you. But for the most part, we collected some championships. It wasn't every time. Everybody's trying to be a dynasty. Everybody's trying to win multiple tournaments in a row. We had our run. It was very brief, and I was able to do it twice, but the second time wasn't as great. So I've kind of experienced similar things on a totally amateur level and in a very, very niche market of Asian American tournaments out here. But grown men who have the same grown men egos as the NBA does, just without the money. And but sometimes they play for free because I recruit a guy and I let him, not contribute to the entry fee. I'm just saying that you just want to remember your quote unquote legacy as you won more games than you lost and you collected a few championships along the way. That is literally all you want. And that's why, that we could talk about LeBron picking the Sixers. That's why I thought on my website that there might be a small chance that LeBron comes to the Warriors. That's why I thought, comes to the Warriors. And I wrote that article right here. But he ultimately scratched that competitive itch. That's like me going back to, okay, I want to win one more Asian tournament in Las Vegas or what have you. And there were opportunities for me to do that. I had to say no to myself. Say, hey, look, there's a big risk here. You might not win it. You might be super disappointed. You might give it your all. But look, he went to the Sixers and the Sixers look like they're on the up and up. And Embiid's texting him every day to say, oh, I'm fully healthy right now. So we're good. And look at, we got Jaylen Brown. It's a new situation. And Tyrese Maxey. And oh, by the way, the third string guy behind Maxey is freaking LeBaron Philon. And the guy behind Maxey is Anthony Simons. That's a pretty good squad. So, this is a pretty safe.
They also have Nurse, too. He was a pretty good coach, gotta say.
This is a safe selection for LeBron, I think. Whereas Miami and Cleveland, those were risky, just competitive wise. So if they're that risky, just go play with Steph. But if I'll say this, I'm probably the only one who ever thought of this. I think LeBron would have come to the Warriors if Jaylen Brown never got traded to the Sixers. Because what are the, you're either going to be competitive or you're going to say, okay, the Warriors, we don't know. They're very injured, very old. That's just for lifestyle. And that's what I thought he would do, but he didn't go the lifestyle route. He, in fact, chose the harder lifestyle, which is living in New York to go commute to Philly. But
that is not going to work. That's not going to work out. The Knicks are the defending champions, and you're living in Manhattan.
No, they're saying, well, he could live in Westchester, and that's close enough. Besides, there's a helicopter issue in Manhattan. It's all the stuff that I actually got this from our Discord, but they're on like secret channels, if you will. But I just didn't think it was Warriors related. People don't want to hear about LeBron, but we're talking about it now on the live. So, anyways, that's what I just wanted, the bigger picture again, where you're never going to get that anywhere else. Where we're always going to try and make you feel better about the Warriors. We're not here to make you feel worse about them. And I don't even think most Warriors pod boys is what they're called. Apparently, I didn't come up with the name. Somebody else did. Pod boys aren't like necessarily intentionally trying to make you feel bad about the Warriors, but they really want your click. So they're going to do things that end up making you feel bad about the Warriors, but they got your click. And I'm just not like that. Like, even in regular life, they
want their ad revenue, which you'll notice Rich does not really do, except for, of course, the automatic ads.
We have no.
That's every YouTube. Yeah,
I think
we have no one to tell us what to do. So, if you guys want to, leave a little dono for Rich, it'd be much appreciated. Considering we've given you
someone did the trade
hundreds of hours of free content every year.
Someone did the trade stuff thing, but look.
Yeah, it's all over the internet. These people are just bored because it's like August, almost.
Are you even a Warriors fan? That's the question, because this is for Warriors fans, and I will credit Warriors Twitter. The only thing I'll credit them with is that they know never to trade Steph, but that's the only thing they get right. And the other thing they forget. So we want to cover everything on this live stream, right, Dean? Because the next live stream, we'll talk about the future, which is who can we go poach from the free agent market and the restricted free agent market, and maybe teams that are struggling next summer when all these contracts come off the books. That's the next live stream. That'll be fun. That'll be hopeful.
And it's not necessarily only big name hunting either. If you can fill out the roster with really talented players. I mean, you might even combine some of those guys later on in the season into a trade. So just having useful cap space while keeping our core guys together, Steph, Jimmy, Dre, with the young talent. I mean, I wish we would have gotten LeBron because it could have made us more competitive this year. Yes, but I'm very excited to see this year if we're able to prove that we are still a threat to take out a contender in the playoffs. I think we could be a really, really dangerous team in the offseason, assuming the rules aren't changed. Because we found a way to get a competitive advantage.
Yeah, so we're all rooting against the 76ers just because. No, that's the competitive side of us. I don't know, maybe.
The Celtics traded Brown to a team in their own division.
That's how desperate.
And you are angry at Joe Lacob? Come on.
Right? Yeah. It's understandable from the standpoint that JT and JB were going to make 74% of their entire salary.
They'll trade them somewhere in the West, man.
Yeah. But there was no, I guess there weren't any suitors out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I heard Bill Simmons talk about this, and he's like, if there's no suitors now, there'll still be the same trade available in September.
Or February.
Yeah.
That part's kind of weird.
Yeah.
By the way, Warriors among the most valuable NBA franchises because of Steph Curry. But honestly, even though Andre Iguodala will have this little tussle with Lacob, because here's the thing, Lacob has the business side way dominant over Andre Iguodala. Iguodala will never be a billionaire. Now, is Lacob actually a billionaire? I think probably he has some holdings that probably, yeah, because a lot of venture capitalists, particularly that work for Kleiner, are billionaires in terms of their holdings. If they had to liquidate everything in the stock market, okay,
What is cash for?
He might be, but comparatively, like compared to like Steve Ballmer or whatever. But yeah, so Lacob has Andre on that. And Andre will always want to get him back on the basketball side. So Andre, if you know Andre, you know Andre. So he's going to always prod and poke Lacob here and try and bring him down a notch, because that's what basketball players do. They have to be competitive, right? They have egos. So does Lacob. You need to give a little bit of credit to Lacob for building Chase Center. It's not just Steph Curry. It's the combination of Steph and this cash cow that is Chase Center. Okay. That allows us to pay these taxes. That allows us to, have you thought about this, Dean? Like any other team, would we have like Draymond opts out and then you give him back the whole amount after the fact, and you don't try to just purposely get under the luxury tax to get DeMar DeRozan? Like Lacob is more than happy to be a second apron team. We just need to be under the second apron due to all the, frozen draft pick and this, and, can't aggregate salaries. Functionally, second apron, we're more than happy to pay all of those luxury taxes and repeater taxes. And that is something Lacob needs to get credit for, but most people on Twitter don't think in those terms.
Well, look at, way more owners are like the A's of an unknown city. Apparently, they don't have any city on there. That like they want taxpayers to build them the stadium that they're going to make the profits off of. And Lacob built that with private money. Now, will it be a cash cow in Oklahoma City? Maybe not. It is in San Francisco. That helps a lot. But they built it with private money, meaning they get all the profits back. But to take that kind of risk, well, look, it's just he's the best owner in the NBA. I'm pretty sure, not in sports that I know of.
There's not a single person in Warriors Twitter today that would agree with you.
I don't care.
No, I don't
because name someone else.
Because it's all emotions and not logic out there.
Okay, you name an example of somebody else.
I know, right? Exactly. And I've said this before. Look, Sam Presti is bar none the best GM in the NBA. Just go look at his players that he's got, the draft picks he's made, the trades that he's made, just everything. The draft picks that he has all, locked up. How many championships does he have? Uno. And you want to say how great he is, you got to go all the way back to Seattle. So really it's 1 in 17 years. Because he was a great GM starting in Seattle, right? Lacob is 4 out of 12 years. That's a pretty damn good batting average, And really all we want
12
is Sam Presti. And the one, are OKC fans bitter that they don't have more than one? It's like the same, that's the similar, type of outrage. If OKC had the same outrage, are they bitter that they only have one championship? I don't think they are, right? I think it
is sort of it. There's sort of a California aspect to this, though, too.
Oh, what do you?
Well, just it's the West. It's the West Coast, and people hate us. And the West Coast. And we're also very entitled and expect to be competing for championships all the time. People in Oklahoma don't expect to be competing in, well, maybe in college. Yeah, maybe in college they're like that, college sports. But I think they're more grateful, you know. It's the only major
they were
team in town, too.
They weren't grateful when KD went to the Warriors, and then they had that.
Because you have to remain loyal. If you leave and you're disloyal, like that's not like LeBron leaving LA. You know what I mean? Like that was their whole. But you know.
All right. Well, okay. Whatever. So there's just every now and then I find some of the logic with Warriors Twitter just to be totally off. But there's nothing you could do about it because I've been there where you go and you comment that, and then they'll come like in the movie I Am Legend. They'll come after you in droves. They'll come after you with the quote tweet. The quote tweet is perhaps society's worst invention ever, where you put somebody on blast.
Anthrax, but yeah, maybe. Well,
team needs.
But I think that's why long form content like this is so valued, by the people who get it, and I think if there's any trend, I think people will search for more and more long form content like this.
Smile, screenshot. Clean shaven Dean Chambers. Yeah. Okay.
Stubble.
Good thing by Percy Bedford here. We need to get younger and athletic. Okay. Time to analyze.
I think we have been. Yeah, I think we have been. And bigger, taller.
Slowly but surely. We'll see about the veterans minimum thing. That'll tell you a lot. Mm-hmm. If they go and get Brandon Williams, I'm going to applaud that. We'll see.
Yeah, you've really been on that Brandon Williams kick. It seems like
he's just younger and he can be developed. Looks like he's, on the.
He's got the relationship with Melton and
Not only right. University of Arizona, so Steve probably loves him. Just default.
Oh, Steve too. Yeah, Steve.
All right. Let's go back to this and let's talk about what did Utah do at the deadline to. What was the trade? Do you remember?
Utah?
They got JJJ. So can we follow their model?
Who did they trade?
February. Let's look it up.
I feel like they didn't trade that much, really.
Who was traded for whom in the Utah
Sexton?
Memphis trade for JJJ? Sexton, you might be right. There it is. Oh, wow. A lot of guys. Okay. 3 picks from Utah. It was kind of risky for them to do at the time because you had Kessler. You had Lowry already. You're getting JJJ.
Oh, yeah. So Sexton must have been moved later. Walter Clayton, Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, George Niang. This is not. They didn't give up like anyone who's going to play. So
let's see. Utah. Let's look at 25-26. So we got. Jackson was $35 million, and so did a lot of salary matching here, but it was the 3 picks, and Memphis wanted to get the picks. How good are these picks? Top 4, 2027 one sucks because that draft, I talked to Eric G today, says the next year's draft sucks.
Yeah.
More favorable. Wow. So this is wow.
So no, I don't think Utah gave up any of its own picks. They would have gotten a lot from Cleveland and Minnesota due to the Mitchell and Gobert trades.
So here's the one where they probably like the 2031 first round unprotected from Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's probably worth something. Favorable first rounder. Okay. Among
Phoenix is in a little bit of a tough. I don't see how they get much better. And build around Booker.
Teams. We could go around the NBA. There's a lot of teams that are in some cap.
They don't have any picks, and they don't have any cap space, and they don't have any young players, right? And we have all that. That sucks, though.
Exactly. How about Miami?
Well, they got Miami. Miami's going to be a free agent destination because they have Giannis, and it's Miami.
Going to be
though. Yeah, but not this year.
This year,
yeah.
So I wouldn't want to be Miami this year. I would honestly rather have our team, because if we're fully healthy, if Miami's fully healthy, they're not cracking the top 6. I don't think. But who's shooting the ball over there unless they get Clay somehow? For us,
I guess Wiggins. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of teams out there there are question marks about their cap sheet. Denver, they're in the second apron right now.
Yeah, they're going to have to trade Jamal Murray too, but everybody knows that. Exactly. just to improve. Well, I mean, I guess they don't have to, but yeah, I don't know. Denver's in a rough position. They really are.
I don't know if
I don't like saying that either. I mean, I like the Nuggets, but
yeah,
they've been bad. They've been very disappointing in the playoffs too.
Well, Aaron Gordon's been injured. By the way, Dean, there's a Utah question in the comments if you want to go type that in. But we need to talk about again what Utah did here. I still would rather just wait until the summer to do something. Of course, things can change, and you never know. I mean, you could do a quick upgrade. I guess Porzingis would be the trade chip. You could rehabilitate him, but he could be also a key piece of the Warriors where you don't want to trade him because he's playing so well at the same time. So, maybe
I just give me a few more games of seeing how Steph is able to play along, because we saw very little of Steph and Porzingis on the floor.
Yeah.
Just give me a couple months of seeing how we can get the greatest shooter of all time and 7'3", just marksman. I just want to see how that works out there, man. I think it's fascinating.
I don't think. I mean, I guess you could do a blockbuster one if Jimmy is rehabilitated and he's 3 games in a row scoring 20 points or something and 7 assists. I don't know. I guess you could trade a guy that just came back, but I think we need to tread lightly on guys that come back from an ACL. He's not going to play a back-to-backs. Just look at DeAnthony Melton as your example from last year. So I don't know that teams would want to trade for Jimmy Butler. He is expiring, so yeah, we'll see. But I did want to get to Draymond, and if the Warriors suck, I mean, there's a world where Draymond could be deemed valuable, especially when he's expiring, to a playoff contending team like Detroit. Maybe they're in a spot where they feel like they can make a move, maybe move John Collins and get John Collins and one more guy to get Draymond or what have you. You'd hope to get something out of that. You'd hope to get 3 second rounders or 2 or something like that. So I think Draymond could have a lot of value at the trade deadline, honestly. So it's not like, and that's a good thing to point out. It's like we do have some assets. Like we're not completely just dead in the water here. So I don't think we're trading Horford, Yaxel, or Brandon Podziemski because of his situation. Because even if you did trade out pods, there's going to be the base year compensation thing, and that just complicates it. I don't know that there has been a trade involving a base year compensation rule. Well, we talked about that when JK was a restricted free agent and in between. And, people wanted Kobe White for JK. Like, I don't know. That was hard to do mathematically at the time. even though now, obviously, with LaMelo Ball gone from Charlotte, Kobe White is now the starter, and he's getting paid starter money. So I think he got lucky. Kobe White did. And by the way, as we're on Charlotte right now, I don't want to get too much into the next live stream that we'll do, which would be Sunday. So it would be Monday morning for those of you on the Far East. But yeah, like speaking of Charlotte, how do you think Charlotte will do this upcoming year, Dean? I think they may be regressing a little bit just because of the chemistry issue. So yeah, what do you think about them? Let's look at their roster, because if they implode, and that's maybe exaggerating, maybe we can poach Brandon Miller off that team. That's what I would hope for.
Well, I have no idea because they traded LaMelo.
I know, right?
So that might be good, but it's going to be a completely different offensive system because you just traded the guy out of the ball in his hands, or the guy you built the offense around. Man, so I have absolutely no idea. And the East, people, I've heard, East is better. I've heard that for years now, and it hasn't been true. But it might start to be a little true now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the West is still, I think, the favorites to win the championship just because.
Oh, OKC and the Spurs, yeah.
Exactly. But the East is starting to become deeper, and the West is starting to get a little bit more top-heavy, which is good for us, by the way. But
yeah,
what will Charlotte do that when they didn't even make the playoffs? I have no idea.
There's always going to be a team that implodes.
Yeah.
By the way, Grayson Allen is the third highest paid player on Charlotte. That's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then, see, this is the thing: is Brandon Miller? He's going to want to get paid. That's the thing. And is Charlotte going to do that? I don't know. I mean, maybe like people.
They don't have a very big roster payroll. I mean, right now though, do they? I mean, they can kind of afford it, right?
Yeah, they're under the tax.
Yeah. So
I tell you what, like people on Warriors Twitter would have you believe that no free agent wants to come to Golden State. I think there's going to be a lot of free agents next summer that would highly consider it. I mean, you've got Chase Center, you've got 5-star hotels on the road, private jets. Like everybody knows the war. And in fact, Jimmy said this when he was on the panel with Joe Lacob. He said, "Yeah, the Warriors are just the best franchise in the league in terms of comfort for players to go there." Think about the pitch to a guy like Brandon Miller, we're going to give you a max. We're going to give you as much as we can pay you and put pressure on Charlotte to do the same when they're in the middle of a transition. They're going to have to put all their marbles into you. And then meanwhile, we pitch him that he's the next guy after Steph or something like that. I think it's doable. So, but that's for the next live stream. And I think one really cool thing, the text that I got from you, Dean, the other day is, and we'll talk about this next live stream, but it should be exciting to talk about as we build the spreadsheet. What if Steph took a veterans minimum like LeBron did? What if, right? Yeah. Thank you, LeBron, for taking the minimum, the $4 million. I mean, it's
LeBron and Brunson. That's
Yeah, but LeBron being nearly
guys need precedent. NBA players need precedent many times before they will do something like that on their own. But once the precedent is set and it works, right? That's like Brunson winning the title,
guys,
LeBron going to play with a very talented team. That makes it a lot easier for other guys to consider it.
The veterans minimum is the shocking part about LeBron. Everything else is, makes sense. But for the veterans minimum, and Yossi and Sam Quinn, they estimated, I think Sam Quinn had the multiplier. They estimated that LeBron's value is worth 7 times more than that veterans minimum. But also, as you said, Jalen Brunson, a couple years ago, taking that discount. Now, even though we're really going to do the live stream to talk about this in 2 days, I think I haven't done the numbers yet, and we should do the numbers on that live stream. I think we can pry Cat from New York if we really wanted to. Now you're gonna have to make a decision on which guy you want to target. Like you could go after I don't know. It depends on if Steph takes a veteran's minimum, which sounds crazy right now, but LeBron did it, and Draymond does, and if Steph does it, then Draymond has to do it, kind of, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
and we'll see about Jimmy. We'll see about Jimmy too.
We'll see about Jimmy, but I think with Jimmy, yeah, maybe Jimmy would do that. Okay, so look, maybe you could get Karl Anthony Towns and Brandon Miller together, team up. That would be wild. Probably not, but that is one option you could look at because he's got a player option. Does Dolan want to go into the second apron? Probably not. And how is he going to keep all these guys? Because Jalen Brunson is due, and so is OG Anunoby, and that's the next year. There's going to be talk about that the next year after that. So there's some things to kind of look forward to if you can just, wait a little bit and just get through this season and just love what we have already to get you through.
And again, to do this, we don't, all we have to do is have a few of our top players give up some money. We don't have to lose assets. We don't have to lose picks. We can just sort of add on top of a pretty old but pretty great group of guys and some really talented young players, and still have all of our picks and things like that to either add young talent, obviously through the draft, or to package some salaries together and get another player. And it might not even be, as I said before, it might not even be big. Not necessarily even the big star hunting, although you would want to do that first. We could do, like you've said before, Rich, what the Lakers did, and just fill out a bunch of roster spots, But someone is going to want to be the next face of the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco. Somebody's going to be excited to do that.
I know. Nobody.
I mean, come on.
Nobody has talked about that. It's crazy. Maybe
not saying that Steph has to leave for that to happen either. You can do that while Steph's here because he's old.
Absolutely.
He's old.
That's
the
whole.
He's not going to care as long as he gets number 5 or 6. 7.
You could make the argument that it's even better than your whatever other, like Brooklyn. Instead of being the guy in Brooklyn, you're the guy in Golden State.
Oh, it's way better than Brooklyn.
And we
have real fans.
You're taking over for Steph. Who wouldn't want that? That's why I thought Donovan Mitchell might want to think about that, but he got signed by the Cavs, which is fine because there are some holes in Donovan Mitchell's game as well. And in fact, Yossi Goslin thinks that extension is terrible because Donovan isn't really a first-team All-NBA guy.
Cleveland is in a position where they have to keep their main guy, though.
That's another team that I'd rather not be right now, even though they've got way more of a chance to go to the finals, but they won't, right? Than we do. Watch them go to the finals just because I said that. But I'd still rather be the Golden State Warriors than the Cavs because look at their cap sheet. What are they going to do? And they're stuck with...
It's also just more difficult to build in Cleveland. It's just harder to do. Again, you can't mess around with Mitchell because, it's harder to build in Milwaukee. It's harder to build in Utah. I mean, I'm from Utah. I think it's great, but it's hard to get free agents there. Unlike San Francisco, California, or Miami or whatever.
Well, okay. Someone says Paulo is a franchise player and the team will make noise. Yeah. Well, I mean, if they implode, then you got, one of these two guys is going to be on the block, and they're not going to be able to trade Bane because he makes too much. Sorry.
Bane, yeah.
So they're stuck with Bane no matter what, and then they're going to need to trade somebody else. And maybe we get into it, but then we need to sign somebody to match the salaries because they're not free agents. That has to be a trade for us. Maybe it's a sign-in trade, but then they would need to be under the first apron, so that's harder for them too. So I don't know about Paulo and Franz. I would give it very low odds just due to that. But there are plenty of other situations where we can take advantage of next summer.
No, I think this is a thing too where you talked about we have to target the right people. I mean, I don't know. I think these players know, and you might just say, hey, you know what we can offer. You know the talent around you, both the both the veterans and the young guys and everything. Let's just see who is interested. And it,
Absolutely.
I mean, you could be very surprised, I mean, it's possible that we could get Jokic, just money wise. Is it likely? Probably not, but it's possible.
Every year there's a surprise. So I was talking to Yossi, and I said, hey, look, couldn't the Warriors just do what the Lakers just did, which you've already mentioned, right? And he goes, yeah, but that, they have Luka and Austin Reeves, so you're just basing that more on hope. And I go, yeah, exactly. I'd rather do that than any trade right now that involves draft picks. So Trey Murphy, no. Anthony Davis, no. Kawhi Leonard, even, no. Like, now that we're getting this much closer to next summer, I'll go on the hope, because the hope is that there's going to be a team that implodes. There's always a team that implodes. Here's
another thing, too.
There's always a restricted free agent that doesn't get along with the team that they're negotiating with. Peyton Watson right now. So anyways, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, too, no one that they signed was going to be the number one guy on the team, because no one's going to make more than Luka.
Right.
If you're the number one guy, you're going to make the most money. And we can offer that.
Yep.
Unlike the Lakers.
And that's where
that matters. It just does,
That's where you would have to think, again, here's something that nobody else tells you except for one guy I like on Twitter, but sometimes he goes off the rails. This is a collaboration. If Draymond opting out of $27 million, then getting it back in its entirety, isn't an indication that this is a collaboration between Draymond, Steph, Mike Dunleavy, and Joe Lacob. And if he wants to be involved, Steve Kerr. But I think most times he's like, dude, just give me the team and I'll coach him. Like, I was a GM and I was hurt by that. So I don't know that he wants to be involved in GM type stuff and roster building as much. But
well, here's one other thing too. I think we tried Kerr's style for a little while of, I want ball handlers, maybe more guards and things like that.
Yeah.
And we just need more athletic bigs who are a little better defensively. So I think Kerr coming back, there was an understanding between the front office and Coach Kerr that, like, yeah, we like your offense, we like your defense and everything, but we need to play more young, tall, athletic guards. I think that is
it goes.
I think that's part of it.
I mean, if you can get young, tall, athletic young guards,
we need to play Yaxel and Gee. You have to play those guys.
Well, Gee was playing, so and that's
no, I know, but he wasn't playing. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
He had no choice to play Gee, and Gee played well. Therefore, now the problem is what goes beyond that is the turnovers. So that's the main question I have going in, and I actually am hoping to be able to interview some assistant coaches. Now it's going to be up to Raymond Ritter. I'm going to have to pitch him on this, but one thing I'll pitch him is, like, there's the only guys that were or are credentialed with you that didn't throw you under the bus or Lacob on a daily basis was Nick Friedel, Anthony Slater, Tim Kawakami, and myself. So get me back into the building once a month. I'll go interview an assistant coach, and that's what we'll do. That's the safest thing. And I just think that will help us understand more, like, X's and O's and stuff. But the number one question I have going into next season, how are you going to reduce the turnovers? We actually didn't even see it in Summer League. We still turned the ball over a ton. So we're still under the previous, process. We need to change that process. And I would love to know what that is, because knowing what that is increases everybody's basketball IQ. That's going to be fun to see how you do that. In fact, I probably would have wanted some hints on how to do that way back in the day myself for my teams that turned the ball over too much and were a little loose with it. So yeah, Should be a very interesting training camp for sure.
Well, that's one thing I love about having Jimmy and Draymond too, is that honestly, I think more and more the playmaking position will probably be the old, kind of mid-post dunker spot area, where you make outwards towards the 3-point line rather than from the top of the key. And I think of how many times we were able to get the ball to Jimmy sort of posting up around there, and everything just flowed around that central point rather than trying to force the ball inside and then out again,
Yeah, I'll see, because that involves Porzingis as well, because Porzingis kind of is the interior version of Jimmy, getting the ball, kind of post up and figure it out and kick it out. Whereas
interesting. I was thinking Jimmy and Dre in there, and Porzingis, Steph, and Yaxel will be the shooters on the outside.
I'm talking about as Jimmy is injured, you have Porzingis to kind of take that role. So going into training camp,
Wouldn't it be Draymond?
No, I mean, just you post up Porzingis at the nail. That's how your two plays.
But I don't want Porzingis making passing playmaking decisions. I want him shooting.
Well, sometimes you have no choice. Maybe Steph's on the bench or what have you.
I'm happy with Porzingis taking a mid-range possession. Sure.
Yeah, it's going to be under 7 seconds.
Yeah.
With that, it's going to be kind of a slow offense, but that's fine. I mean, there's just a lot of variables going into what our system is going to look like, but I think it's time for everybody to really thank you, Mike Dunleavy. Say, hey, look, we can't turn the ball over, and if that means change your system.
We want to play a little slower, I think, with the older players. So the more you have turnovers, the faster you're forced to play, because most turnovers are going to lead to a fast break. Yeah. So I totally agree with you on that. Totally.
And once again, it's good to have Yaxel for those things. The guys who can actually run up and down 94 feet. And I think that's his greatest attribute. I need to do a video of just encapsulating Yaxel sometime in August, where, we look at some of the intangible parts, and really it should not be overlooked. Like the fact that in a pickup game, he can run 94 feet and charge into a guy drawing contact without it being called a charge. That is super valuable for some of these regular season games. Like we had those 4 horrendous games against Milwaukee, Indiana, Orlando, and like Portland or whatever it was. Like having Yaxel in those games would have made a huge difference, just because he can run up and down the court and get back on defense in like a split second like that. Whereas our old guys have trouble with that. But speaking of old guys, that's where I wanted to the other thing I don't want to brush over is if Steph does not do an extension this August or September or October, or just postpones that until next summer, everybody's going to jump on it because the Warriors are a hotbed for clicks, and they're going to say, oh, now there's a chance Steph's going to leave. I'm telling you right now, there's no chance of that. It's a collaboration. It's Steph, Draymond, Mike, and Joe. They're collaborating on this. The reason why he will not extend is to see what the market's like next summer and really build the team around you. It's still about you, even though we didn't give you an extension. So I think that it's a little bit skewed. The only person out there that has mentioned this is Yossi Goslin in his latest Warriors article. Everybody else, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They report. This is Slater. He needs to report. So he reports what he's been told. He's the messenger. He's not paid to like speculate on this thing. So I'm going to speculate, and I'm going to say I would be surprised if we pin Steph down to a number, whatever that number is. And if it's a number, then please let it be the Jalen Brunson number, right? So I think we can manage that. If New York was able to build a team around Jalen Brunson based on his, what was it, 32 million? And then in August, Steph signs a contract that's around the same, 37, 35. Okay, I can.
We don't want Steph to sign a contract at all, though, right?
I would rather not. I would rather optionality is what we call it. The other thing that's going on now,
because of the whole summer cap space.
The other thing that's going on Twitter right now that gets a lot of flack is the word optionality. So they are burning Lacob at the stake for that word optionality, which means don't trade your picks now, keep your optionality. But see, we kind of need to do that again. This is the best way to get Steph his 5th ring, is to rebuild the team around him next summer, just like the Lakers just did with Luka. I'm telling you that's just the best way to do it. There's no other trade out there right now between now and probably even February, unless we're somehow a really good team and, we're able to be a contender by February. Then maybe you just trade Porzingis for a guy, or I don't know. That's more around the margins. And then you're not as worried about, because you're contending already. But if you're not a true contender, quote unquote, you got next summer. So let's preserve Steph as much as we can. That doesn't mean don't play him, but that just means, look, this guy's almost 40 years old. He's going to need to pare down his minutes anyway. So I would come up with a strategy to not have him play 32 minutes anymore. We did a poll on the last Valkyries live stream. I wonder did you vote on that, Dean? Like, what did you say? Like, should he be at 32 minutes this year, 28 or 24? Or what do you think? I would say 28. I think it's anything less than 32, anything less than 32, but not 32, something less than that. I think we need to start. I guess it depends on the runner's knee. If 0 issues with the runner's knee, then okay. But still, that contributes to runner's knee. Well, anyway.
Honestly, maybe we shouldn't. You should just. I know this is a bit crazy, but maybe you just don't play him much in the first half.
Yeah.
Just bring him in for most of this. Mostly in the second half, like 18 out of 24 or something like that. Get another
as a basketball
6 minutes near the end of the second or something.
Yeah, but as a basketball player, you want to have like the right amount of reps going in. I know. But yeah, well, I just don't think it should be 32 minutes anymore. So yeah, don't get outraged if Steph doesn't sign an extension. Like, that's kind of what we want. We don't want Podziemski to do that either, but he might. I don't know. Like, his agent could get really antsy about it or something. And
well, the Podziemski thing is whether we sign him to an extension, right? The Steph thing is whether he signs or whether what he says, because you kind of have to just give him what he thinks is best. After, of course, there's always going to be a discussion. Draymond just said on his podcast the other day, not today's podcast, but the one before that, Steph lives for the hard conversations, which is a great line, and I'm very happy to hear that.
Not only that, what was the actual quote from Draymond? Let's go look it up. We have a Draymond section right here on our Discord. Go sign up. Let's see. Let me pin the Discord link. You guys got it? WAP.com. There it is. Let's pin this. Okay, it's pinned in the comments right now. But here's what Day said about Steph. Reacting to reports that Steph is probably tired of star chasing. And he goes, I don't know what the hell Steph's tired of, but what I do believe is that if Steph was tired of something, he would tell us. Yeah, it's a collaboration. And the other thing, oh man, a very well-respected reporter in the Bay, long time tenured. He got it wrong. He got it wrong again. He's not wrong often, but he got it wrong this time. I was surprised by this. He said...
Also, what does that mean? He doesn't want to chase stars now?
No, it's the thing that's going on Twitter. Everything is based on Twitter narratives.
Yeah.
One being, oh, he's tired of going after Giannis and not getting it. Swing and a miss. And they're all calling these swing and a miss, swing and a miss. Going after whoever, Lowry, going after LeBron, swing and a miss. He's tired of that. That's the narrative right now. And Draymond is going, well, if he's tired of it, he would say something. So I don't know that he's tired of it. And what I'm saying is there was a well-respected reporter saying he was surprised that Steph wasn't disappointed that we didn't get LeBron, or we haven't done much with what we have right now. So first of all, obviously Steph has been debriefed on this particular spreadsheet. So because if you understand the spreadsheet, you would know that 85% of our cap sheet is tied up with untradeable guys, whether they're old, they're Steph himself, Draymond, or they're injured. Moody, no one wants Horford right now, but that's kind of good for us too. So yeah, I like, really? You thought Steph was going to be disappointed when LeBron said no? I mean, he was, but like disappointed with our offseason, where all we really did was get Porzingis on a better contract for us, get Horford, and get Melton. We got Melton for cheap, comparatively. I mean, a lot of two guards, a lot of combo guards were out there for cheap. Anthony Simons being one of them, Colin Sexton the other one, got for cheap. Like, wow, you thought Steph was going to be disappointed? Like, he doesn't get disappointed. He's kind of like me and you, Dean. Like, we don't really get disappointed. Just every now and then, maybe something comes up, like when Steve benched Kuminga against Denver. That was a very specific. We get disappointed by very specific things that at the end of the day.
Well, we're only human.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're forgiving, like, because nobody's perfect. You don't get the Steve Kerr coming in and revamping the offense and having this all-time offense in 2015, not to mention defense. Having Andre come off the bench, replacing David Lee with Draymond on a full-time basis. Like, Steve isn't going to hit every mark. So some of his weaknesses are guy like Kuminga comes in, plays basketball a certain way. How do you deal with that? Kuminga didn't come up in basketball the way Steve came up. So yeah, it's different. And he's not going to hit everyone out of the park. Neither is Lacob. Neither is Steph. So I don't know. Overall, we're right back to the forest for the trees. I'm sure happy that we have Steph and we're rooting for Steph. And you got that? Hey, look, we're trying our best around this guy. And next summer, I'm telling you, we can do a lot next summer on this.
Look, I understand the frustration, though, because this guy, I think a lot of people after 2022, we're like, okay, well, I think Steph is probably top 10. But when he retires and you look back, right now, if he retired right now, a couple years later, people start looking back and be like, wait a minute, this guy, he's got a resume which is absolutely ridiculous compared to everybody else. He was with one team. Now, a lot of great players have been with one team. Kobe demanded a trade in order to force the Lakers to go do something like getting Pau Gasol, I think. Tim Duncan almost went to Orlando. Steph's never done anything like that. Anything. So he's more loyal than Duncan or Kobe. Right?
Yeah.
The man's 6'2" or so, barefoot. And he's averaging like second three-peat MJ numbers his whole career in the playoffs, basically. I know everybody freaked out when we got KD, but other than that, we have no other top 75 player ever. And he's won multiple championships without another top 75 player. People are going to be amazed when they actually watch his defense. And they're going to go, wait, this guy was like way underrated when he was playing. But with all that being said, I know, everybody knows, he needs 5. Duncan, Kobe, Magic, we need to get Steph 5. We need to do everything we can to get Steph number 5. But we cannot act in a rash way like we just saw, again, the Mavericks, Bucks, and Celtics all doing. Where you just are afraid that, this is your only moment. And I understand that you can't be like, oh, well, the window will always be open. I mean, I'd rather let the window close than try and throw a brick through it than jump out of the window and not know where I'm going to land. You know what I mean? So I get that Steph is so great that he needs 5 in a way to be to force everybody else to see that he is where we already think he is, which is easily, I think, realistically, he's top 5 all time in that or in that kind of that level of respect, and which he's still not getting, unbelievably, even after the Olympics, man. But it's okay if he's Tim Duncan in 2014 when he wins number 5. He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to average 27 a game. It's okay. It's not like it's not going to count. You know what I mean? And Steph said multiple seasons. So could he go to the end of the decade? Could he go to 2030? Yeah. Well, if he's going to 2030 and he's still going to be able to shoot, and now when he's in his 40s, guys aren't double teaming him, it's like a whole new career. Oh my God. I'm able to shoot with only one guy on me? This is so easy. I haven't done this for 15 years. Like, oh, come on, man. Please, have a little faith. Have a little faith in the last dynasty of the NBA. Please. I'm begging you. Amen.
All right. Well, I caught up on the comments, so
yeah, I saw you were translating those goat and trophy and whale.
I think we're done here for tonight.
Okay.
Let me check it. That's not what we're saying, Bruce.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't saying mediocre. As I've been saying, I think we should be the 3rd seed in the West. Okay, that's the goal, at least, if not better.
All right, so the minutes. How many wins would we have had with Steph playing 60 games? Didn't look good. It was a close vote, but a lot of people are down on the Warriors.
Well, go look at Steph's wins versus games played.
I'm kind of shocked by that. Boy, really? You guys voted against Steph. You think I'm telling you, man, if Steph is healthy, look out. He can really improve a team. Don't you guys know that? I don't get it.
Maybe it's been 17 years.
Maybe the poll was worded wrong or something. I don't get it. Boy, I guess everybody's.
It's all right. It's all right. Hey, number 2 was 55. So that people went either the worst or the best. So Whatever. It's all good. We're only playing.
All right. Well, next live is going to be Sunday. So join us for that. Obviously, the pin comment has our Discord. So if you want to join our Discord, that'd be great too. And so Sunday is August. We're going to be in August already. 6 p.m. Pacific time for looking at all the free agents. We can try to get for summer 2027.
Sunday with Plum as a Valkyrie. Okay, Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce is in the. Man, I don't know, Bruce. I'm worried about you. Like, you have no patience. Like, it's second year of the Valkyries. Let them keep gelling. But we talked about that on the last Valkyries live stream. But okay, I think Bruce is at a point where combined Warriors and Valkyries, he just wants some change. For changes.
You know what? That's why people would rather us take a huge swing and a risk. It's because they just want change. They want something new.
Yeah.
Oh, give them all the draft picks for Michael Porter Jr. Trey Murphy, or whoever. Like, what if we get the team healthy in February? No, can't wait till February. The world's ending now. That's it. The world's always ending right now, isn't it? Huh. Okay. Fine. You want to do that with your retirement savings, though, would you?
Yeah. The other funny thing I saw on Twitter was some guy was saying, "Oh, I actually wanted to get your opinion on this, Dean." He was like, "Go ahead and do the deal because you can always flip those guys. Look at Brooklyn. They went from KG and Pierce to KD and Kyrie Irving." So, by the way, Dean, I mean, I'd love to get your opinion on that without even me saying the next thing. But I went and looked that up, and the number of years between KG and Pierce and then KD and Kyrie.
It's like 8 seasons.
6 years.
Was it? 6? Yeah.
6 seasons. So we won the championship in 21-22. Add 6 seasons. So if you're using the Brooklyn Nets as a measuring stick, you need to give me until 27-28 to become a contender again. We're in 26-27. We're not even there yet. So just like all of these ridiculous takes. What do you think, Dane? Should we have gotten Trey Murphy using the 3 picks because we can always flip Trey Murphy later? What do you think about that? I haven't really given that much thought because I want to get to summer 2027 and it's right on the horizon. So I'm not sending my picks for that. So that's the main reason, and that should blow away that theory. But
if it was just the picks, yeah. But we have to give someone up too, don't we?
They're just making this broad stroke. Oh, we can go from KG and Pierce to Kyrie.
Well, we have to give someone up to get Trey Murphy. And then we have to trade Trey Murphy away
to get somebody else or
trade him for picks.
And he has
to get picks back to open up the cap space.
This is the first time I've thought about this, so I haven't thought about this yet. But if you were to actually flip Trey Murphy again, technically Trey Murphy would have to be as valuable as when you got him to get those picks back.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem. A human being is never perfect. I just don't think Trey Murphy can retain his value in a system with Steph Curry. That's not a knock on Steph. It's just reality. It's just so hard to play with them. You need a certain type of guy. So
has Murphy made the playoffs? I don't think he has he?
Yeah, that too. So you could just look at bottom line value of a guy.
I'm not trying to say like I don't like him as a, if he's an athletic wing defender, I love that. Who can shoot? Yeah. But it's just, it feels, when you just like, wow, everybody, when someone just, you see people start saying the same thing over and over and over,
they're making
it's
up.
Just like, where did this come from? Why are you all saying this all at once?
Because they're wrapped up in emotion and they can't think logically. They really can't just really analyze this stuff. They want to just jump to the part where I get to throw Joe Lacob under the bus for this. I need to blame somebody. I need to come up with a reason why the Warriors haven't, and then I need to say they're a terrible organization that never wants to use draft picks. But I'm telling you right now, here's why they don't do it. Because they've had all these contracts becoming expired in summer of 2027 for a reason. And when Malik Monk was bandied about by the Kings to try and get Kuminga, it was already told by someone to Anthony Slater, say that we don't want a guy like Malik Monk because his contract is too long. And that, just go look at this cap sheet on Hoops Hype. Maybe that's it, is not a lot of people know that Hoops Hype has this outward looking chart here. Not even Yossi Goslin has this. I don't even think Spot Trek has it. So this is like
Spot Trek does, I think.
Okay, maybe Spot Trek has it, but like there's only a couple pages that people know about to kind of put this all in perspective. Like we have a plan.
Well,
now,
Basketball Reference has it too. People just don't look at it. They just don't look.
So yeah,
it's crazy.
Despite the other factors like Otney in the comments is saying the Pelicans didn't want to trade Murphy and this and that. So yeah, even besides that, so like Tim Kawakami has been saying, it's hard. It's hard to win championships. Ergo, it's hard to roster build towards a championship. He's absolutely right. I mean, you just have to fall into the right situation. We fell into the right situation with Jimmy. Miami fell into the right situation with Giannis. The Sixers fell into the right situation with Jaylen Brown. Freaking Lakers got Luka on a the most ridiculous trade in the history of the NBA.
Yep.
Although in this modern era of the second apron, I think that's more likely to happen than in the past. But hey, look, it does take a bit of luck, but what you do is you create the luck by having all these contracts expire. So let's see what happens. And that's what we'll do on the next live stream on your screen.
Absolutely.
All right, Bubbles. Good to have you, Bubbles. And Dean of Positivity Chambers. So we'll see all of you guys in 48 hours.
All right. It's been great being on, Rich.
Appreciate you, Otney. Everybody,
everybody,
have a good 48 hours. And you too, Dean.
You.
Take care, everybody.
See you Sunday, Rich.
See you, Dean. Appreciate you. All right. Bye.